After studying this module, we shall be able to learn about vertical integration, its advantages and disadvantages, and transfer prices. Study about the determination of transfer prices of intermediate products when no external market for the intermediate product exists. You shall also analyze the determination of transfer prices when an externally competitive and uncompetitive market exists for the intermediate product.
There exist vertically integrated firms containing different divisions that produce products used by other divisions to manufacture the final product sold to the consumers. The existence of both upstream and downstream divisions gives rise to the complex problem of establishing profitable relationships amongst these different divisions. This in brief is the problem of transfer pricing, the valuation of intermediate products produced by different divisions of the integrated firms. Let us start our discussion with vertical integration and transfer pricing. With improvements in communication and transportation and diminishing trade barriers, there has been an expansion of markets, which in turn has led to the development of large multinational firms with divisions that sometimes cut across national boundaries. These large corporations or firms are characterized by vertical integration, which is the integration of more than one stage of the production process. It implies that the company controls the end product as well as its component parts. In other words, vertical integration is the degree to which a firm owns its upstream suppliers and its downstream buyers. Businesses are downstream or upstream of each other depending on whether they are nearer to or further away from the final consumer. Early telephone companies are the most typical examples of vertical integration, as these were involved at each step of the value chain, making their own telephone cables, telephone exchange equipment, telephones, and the provision of telephone services. Oil companies such as BP and Shell also exhibit a vertically integrated structure. These companies control every step of the value chain that brings a drop of oil from its origins to the consumer's fuel tank. These companies not only control the drilling and extraction of crude oil, but are involved right from the location of oil deposits to transportation and refining of crude oil and in the final distribution of fuel to consumers via company-owned retail outlets.
In today's world, large corporations are characterized by vertical integration, which is the integration of more than one stage of the production process. It implies that the company controls the end product as well as its component parts. The diagram shows an example of vertical integration in the automobile industry for Ford cars. Ford not only manufactures cars but also retail cars. This is forward integration. They also integrated backwards to control the production of tires and steel for car parts. The car manufacturers often have subdivisions involved in manufacturing components such as engines, brakes, axles, heating, cooling system, glass, etc. They also have semi-autonomous units involved in car servicing, denting, repairing, etc. Vertically integrated organizations may be more efficient than the smaller firms operating at a single stage of the production process due to several reasons. These include the scale economies that exist for the large integrated firms, improved supply chain coordination, and capturing of upstream or downstream profit margins. Vertical integration leading to large size firms can cause management and control problems. It is often expensive to implement. The core competencies between different activities are very different, and vertical integration implies that managers are often forced to operate outside their comfort zones. Too much of centralization in policy making could lead to difficulty in implementation of decisions. A practical solution for all these problems is to divide vertically integrated firms into autonomous or semi-autonomous units or divisions with their own products and management, with the management being evaluated on the performance of the unit. For instance, one can have a vertically integrated firm which has semi-autonomous units. These units can deal in raw material, intermediate manufacturing, processing and assembly of final products, distribution and final sale to consumers, and after sales service. All these units are independent and responsible for their allocated functions and profits. At the same time, being a part of the integrated organization leads to improved supply chain coordination and capturing of upstream or downstream profit margins. The transfer price is the value or price placed on the intermediate goods that are transferred within the firms from one semi-autonomous unit to another. Fixation of transfer prices is a complex challenge for large integrated corporations. We study transfer pricing under different conditions: when there is no external market for the intermediate product, and when an external market exists for the intermediate product and is perfectly competitive, and an external imperfectly competitive market for the intermediate product exists. The marginal cost curve of the supplying division is to be treated as a supply curve, which, along with the external or final or downstream divisions demand curve, can be used for determining the optimum amount of input required and its optimal price. The ARDSD is the average revenue or the demand curve of the upstream division. MRDSD is the marginal revenue curve of the final product division. MCDSD and MCUPD are the marginal cost curves of the upstream and downstream divisions respectively. MC is the vertical summation of MCDSD and MCUPD. Simply put, for X units of output, the marginal cost of the upstream and downstream units are MCXDSD and MCXUPD respectively. The combined marginal cost is obtained by summing up these two and is equal to MCX. The firm's optimum output level X is obtained at the point where MRUPD is equal to the combined MC at the point EDSD. The price of this optimum level of output X is correspondingly read from the demand or the ARDSD curve and is equal to PDSD in the given figure. Since X is the optimum level of output of the upstream division, it is also the optimum level of output for the downstream division. 1 unit of intermediate product is required to produce a unit of the final product. Equilibrium of the downstream is obtained at the point EUPD, producing X units of the intermediate product at the marginal cost of MCX UPD. The transfer price of the intermediate product is equal to MCX UPD, which is nothing but the marginal cost of producing X units of the intermediate product, and is also obtained by setting ARUPD equals to MRUPD equals to MCDSD. Thus, at X units of output, ARUPD equals to MRUPD equals to MCDSD equals to transfer price of the intermediate product. We can also determine the transfer price algebraically. The downstream division's production function is Q equals to QDSD equals to function of KL QUPD. The total revenue of the downstream division is equal to RQ. The downstream division has a total cost of production equals to CDSDQ, excluding the cost of intermediate product QUPD. The upstream division has a total cost of production equal to CUPD QUPD. The management aims for overall profit maximization, hence they want to maximize profits. Thus, from our first order condition, we get MRDSD equals to MCDSD plus MCUPD, which is the point that gives the optimum level of production X in the figure previous slide of the downstream division. Further, since a unit of the intermediate product of the upstream division is required to produce a unit of the final product of the downstream division, this implies X is the optimum level of production of the upstream division as well. What is the optimum level of transfer price to be charged? For the upstream division, the divisional profits are equal to, since price for the upstream division is fixed, profit maximization would imply that transfer price equal the marginal cost of the upstream division, a condition satisfied by the point EUPD in the above figure previous slide. Hence, overall profit maximization of the integrated firm would imply that marginal cost of the upstream division equal the transfer price of the intermediate product. In other words, the net marginal revenue obtained from producing one extra unit of the intermediate product should just equal the marginal cost of producing an extra unit, and the transfer price of the upstream division should be set equal to this marginal cost. If the external market for the intermediate upstream product is perfectly competitive, this would imply that a single market price prevails at which the good is traded. For optimal behavior, the equilibrium amount of the upstream intermediate product would be determined where the marginal cost of the upstream division is equal to the given market price as shown in the figure. As in the case with no external market, the optimal amount of the final product is X, as determined by the intersection of the MR, UPD and the combined MC, obtained by the vertical summation of the MC, DSD and the competitive transfer price. The price of this optimum level of output X is equal to P DSD. The best level of output of the upstream division, as shown in both figures, is X UPD greater than X. In this case, X is the amount of intermediate product sold internally to the downstream division, and the difference X UPD minus X is the amount of the upstream intermediate product sold in the external market. The downstream division will not pay more than the competitive external price PUPD for the intermediate product, and the upstream division will not accept a price lower than PUPD for its sales to the downstream division. Hence, with a perfectly competitive external market for the upstream intermediate product, the transfer price at which the intermediate product is internally traded is equal to the external competitive price. We now consider the case when the external market of the upstream intermediate product is imperfectly competitive, with the upstream division operating as a monopolist in the internal and external markets of the intermediate product. The aim of the management of the integrated firm is to fix a transfer price that maximizes the overall profits of the integrated firm. The external market for the upstream intermediate product has a downward sloping demand curve, as shown in the figure. This is because the upstream division is a monopolist in this market, selling an extremely specialized product. The corresponding marginal revenue curve, MRPPDE, is also shown in the figure. The net marginal revenue of the downstream division, net MRDSD, is equal to MRDSD minus MCDSD in the figure. MRUPD is the horizontal summation of the net MRDSD and MRUPDE. For determination of the optimal output of the upstream division, we need to equate the MRUPD with the MCUPD, which reflects the marginal cost of the intermediate product producing upstream division. The optimum level of output is obtained at EUPD, with the corresponding total output being equal to XUPD. This total amount is now divided between the downstream division and the external market. At the given transfer price dictated by EUPD, the downstream division uses XUPD DSD of the total intermediate product output of XUPD. This transfer price ensures that overall profits of the integrated firm are maximized even though the upstream division operates as a monopolist in the internal and external markets of the intermediate product. Let us now summarize what we have learned so far in this module. We began with the concept of vertical integration and transfer prices. We then studied how these transfer prices are determined under different conditions where no external market exists. When the external market exists and is perfectly competitive, and when the external market exists and is imperfectly competitive. The optimal transfer price with no external market is the marginal cost of the producing intermediate product. With a perfectly competitive external market, the optimal transfer price at which the intermediate product should be internally traded is equal to the external competitive price. When the external market for intermediate product is imperfectly competitive, the transfer price is determined by equating the net marginal revenue curve of the downstream division with the marginal cost of the upstream division.
A typical textbook example of vertical integration is that of a steel company, which, besides owning the steel mill where the steel is made, could also control the mines where the iron ore and coal is extracted, the ships that transport the iron ore and the railroads that transport the coal to the factory, the coke ovens where the coal is cooked, etc. In the current times, the global computer manufacturer Apple and the Indian petrochemical giant Reliance Industries have also demonstrated the benefits of vertical model. Vertically integrated organizations may be more efficient than the smaller firms operating at a single stage of the production process due to several reasons. These include scale economies that exist for the larger integrated firm, improved supply chain coordination, and capturing of upstream or downstream profit margins. However, vertical integration leading to large size firms can cause management and control problems. It is often expensive to implement. The core competencies between different activities are very different, and vertical integration implies that managers are often forced to operate outside their comfort zones. Too much of centralization in policy making could lead to difficulty in implementation of decisions. A practical solution is to divide vertically integrated firms into autonomous or semi-autonomous units or divisions with their own products and management, with the management being evaluated on the performance of the unit. However, a general principle of evaluation of performance is the profit earned by the unit, which in turn would depend on the price of its product. In an integrated firm with different divisions, transfer pricing is of crucial importance. The transfer price is the value or price placed on these intermediate goods that are transferred within firms from one unit to another. The fixation of appropriate prices for the transaction of goods and services among the several divisions is a complex challenge for these large integrated corporations. Since the product in question is an intermediate one, a high price would increase the profits of the division producing it, while a lower price would imply that the profits at the later stages of production are greater. An incorrect price for an intermediate good would affect the overall profitability of the integrated firm. For instance, if individual divisions maximize individual profits, the total profit of the integrated firm would be reduced. It is imperative that prices of the intermediate products be set by the top management so as to maximize the overall profits of the integrated firm rather than individual divisional profits. Also, the price of the intermediate product would determine the quantities of output produced by all divisions and thus affect the outcome of the entire integrated firm. Transfer pricing is thus of crucial importance to ensure the smooth functioning of the different divisions as well as to create the efficiency of the integrated firm as a whole. The intermediate goods that are transferred within the firms from one unit to another. The fixation of appropriate prices for the transaction of goods and services among the several divisions is a complex challenge for these large integrated corporations. We have also learned that the optimal transfer price for an intermediate product with no external market is the marginal cost of producing the intermediate product. We have also learned that a perfectly competitive external market for the upstream intermediate product, the optimal transfer price at which the intermediate product should be internally traded is equal to the external competitive price. When the external market for intermediate product is imperfectly competitive, the transfer price is determined by equating the net marginal revenue curve of the downstream division with the marginal cost of the upstream division. This transfer price then determines the optimal level of the total output of the intermediate product to be produced and its distribution internally and externally.